Hello, hello. How are you? I hope you're okay. Um, um we'll see who joins me. I know it's Friday. Everyone is busy with their things. But I felt like today we need to talk again about depression. As I had earlier posted, that we're gonna be talking about depression again today. I would like us to do that. I see one person. Let's find the others will get us Pambili. Okay, sharp. I want us to talk about depression today. Starting with what is depression? Depression is one of the mental illnesses that exist, or mental problems, or mental conditions, whatever you may call it. It's one of those. There are many mental issues out there. Depression is one of them. So we've got different forms of depression. We've got acute depression, major depressive depression, and post-traumatic disorder. All those fall under the same category of depression. And also bipolar. Bipolar is one of the depressions that are there. Hi Dani, I see you. Hello, hello. So those are depressions that are there. So today I want us to talk about the downside of taking depression medications and the upside of taking depression medications. Since we now know what depression is, we are talking each and every day about depression whenever somebody kills themselves, and we tend to think that depression can take people only by suicide. No, depression can literally kill you, because when you are too depressed, your body can also respond to depression. For example, you may have a serious headache from depression. You may have serious tension around the neck that you feel. That is an example of two things that are affected by depression. So the mere fact that depression can cause the headache, which is the physical pain, and can also cause the tension on the neck, which you physically feel. It's not only that, it can even make your immune system go down, and it can affect your body physically. Depression can do so many things on the body. It can even kill you. Your body can shut down from depression. Hi, Kyo. Your body can also shut down. Your organs can shut down because of depression. So depression is something that we cannot take lightly. Hi, Kyo. Hi, Zandi. So depression is one of the illnesses that we should never take lightly, because it does affect the physical health. It does affect you medically. Can end up being medically sick to a point of death without even committing suicide because of depression. So it's one of the things that we need to take good care of, including therapy and medication. Because once you start therapy, psychologist or your professional counselor may refer you to the psychiatrist to take medically care of you. So the psychiatrist takes care of you medically. Medically by means they describe prescriptions of medications that you need to take to deal with the condition that you have at the time. Or they may even suggest other alternative things that you can do to deal with your depression. So whereas the psychologist and professional counselors take care of you just psychologically and verbally. You sit there, they talk to you, you talk to them, they advise you. That's all they do. Hi Pendulum. So depression is one of the things that we should never talk about only when there's somebody that has committed suicide. We need to keep the conversations going around depression in order to avoid cases where people will take their lives because of depression, and also in order to avoid physical conditions or medical conditions that can stem from the depression itself. Now, still on the issue of medications that the doctor may prescribe for you, because it's not only the psychiatrist that can prescribe depression medications. You can also go to your GP. The GP does prescribe actually they are allowed to prescribe mild medications. Sometimes they do prescribe the normal medications that you can find from the psychiatrist, but they are not allowed to prescribe certain prescriptions. When you are seriously affected by a major depressive disorder, you need a psychiatrist, not a GP. Fine. Now, let's talk about the downside and the upside of depression medications. Here are the upsides. I want to talk about the upside of taking medications. Medications can, if you are prescribed medications for anxiety, because anxiety can be one of the symptoms that you present when you are depressed. So there are medications that are prescribed for anxiety, medications that are prescribed for mood stabilizing. There are others that are controlling the depression, which generally is described as the disconnect that becomes there when you are affected in the brain. There are some brain cells that are not working correctly, so the medications help to connect again those nerve cells or brain cells that needs to be connected. Now, the upside is you may feel better, you may feel less anxious, the anxiety levels can go down, your mood, if you are put on mood stabilizers, your mood can lift up to a point where you feel like you are no longer suffering, to a point where you have to sleep the whole time. So you may finally get some energy to do things that you did not have the energy to, because when you are very depressed, there are things that you cannot even do, that there are things that you cannot even participate in, there are things that you absolutely have to do, like going to work, but if you are totally depressed, you end up not being able to go to work. All you want to do is sleep the whole time, and all you want to do is keeping away from people. You may even find excuses not to go to funerals, go to weddings, go to family functions, or you may even avoid your friends when they call you to come and join them to whatever venue they want to. So depression makes you end up being withdrawn and only enjoying the company of yourself and nobody else. So if you are on medication, you end up feeling like, yes, I can do those things that I couldn't do before. That is the upside of depression medication. The downside of depression medication is you may end up being overly excited about things because of the mood stabilizers. One thing that bothers me the most is because I am on anti-anxiety, I am on mood stabilizers, I'm also on depression medication. So I'm drinking 3 pills for my depression. One for is an antidepressant, the other one is anti-anxiety, the other one is the mood stabilizer. Now these 3 medications together, here's a downside. If I miss, let me speak for myself, if I miss any one of them for a day, I get dizziness from hell. That's number 1. That is the downside of it. So that means they are addictive. Even if you don't feel like, you don't crave them like cigarette, but you get withdrawal symptoms. You get withdrawal symptoms when you don't take them, and that affects you a lot because the kind of dizziness that you get, it's not normal. It's something else. If you miss one day, sometimes some medications they start giving you withdrawal symptoms after days, but the ones that I'm on right now, because I am on the highest level, I think I'm taking this one, which is the Duloxetine. This one, this is the how do I hold it so that you see it? Yes, that's the Duloxetine. This is one of the strongest, and there is also Simgen. It's not Lexamil. So if you are still on Lexamil, just know that you are one of the lucky people. That means you are on the mildest antidepressant. And the other depressant that they like giving young people is Nusec. So if you are still on Nusec or Lexamil, you are still on the mild side of antidepressants. Some of us are on the highest Venoboma Simgen, Duloxetine. I forgot the other one. So I've got 3 options that I can get on the level that I'm at. And let me see other pills that these are these are mood stabilizers. Ish. I lost the container and I don't think, it's called Serenum. It's just that it's too small, these pills. It's called Serenum. I think I lost the container thereof. This is one of the mood stabilizers. And then there's also, let me check, I'm coming now. Okay, and then there is also there's also this one. This is Adco-Alzam. Adco-Alzam is anti-anxiety pill. So this is my anti-anxiety, this is my antidepressant, and that other one, what's that? Yeah, this is the mood stabilizer. So these combined, they can make you lose emotions to a point where if you are told there is a funeral of the person that you like very, very much, you won't even have tears to cry. You cry very less. I don't know what they do to your body, but you end up losing that sense of emotion. You can feel sad, but not to a point where you can cry, even if you want to cry. There are conditions that you feel like, no, I need to be crying. Then you can't even cry when you're on these. That's the one battle that I'm having. And even if something is very, very emotionally triggering, or it's making you angry, you're supposed to be angry. You can't even be angry as much as you want because of these mood stabilizers. They stable your mood to a point where you can tolerate nonsense because of these medications. Find yourself tolerating a lot of nonsense in your life. So that is the downside of these. And I remember when I was in the show of I'm a Bishop, and when I was doing an interview with Ndibuti, people were like questioning, why is she narrating her story as if like it's something that happened to someone else? She doesn't show any emotion whatsoever. There are two reasons why I could not show any emotions, and I can't fake emotions. Emotions is something that you cannot fake unless you are a good actor. So I'm not a good actor. One is because of the medications that I'm on. You end up not having like tears, like I said, not having any emotions. So they are good sometimes because they are good at making you be stable in terms of emotions. You can just be stable, but as a person, I don't think you are designed to be just stable. You've got to have those ups and downs and deal with them naturally. So problem with medications is you end up not being able to do that. So one of the reasons that I can talk about what happened to me, the problems that are in my life and everything that I'm encountering without even crying, is because of these medications. That's number one. Number two, when coming to sharing my story on I'm a Bishop or Ndibuti's YouTube channel, is because another reason is that I've said this so many times because I'm a person that talks. I've spoken about it very, very much, and spoken about it so many times to a point where it does not hurt me anymore. So I cannot be acting and feeling like and pretend to be like that. I'm not an actor. So I feel like right now I'm on a journey to teach other people. My time of crying, I was there. Ask the people that know me well. They've seen me in my worst. They've seen me crying flat. Sometimes I could not even talk. I was just crying. I would even cry for small things. So that's when I knew that I need to be on medication. But right now, at this particular moment, I'm meeting other challenges that are new to me. Like I said the other day, that I've lost my house, I've lost my car. I'm supposed to be crying because of that. I'm supposed to be showing that emotionally, but I can't, unfortunately, because of these medications. So I do know that I'm not strong like that. The part of my life that I'm passing through right now, I'm supposed to be feeling it. I'm supposed to show emotions about it. Unfortunately, I can't because of these 3 babies. These ones are bad. So right now I'm considering, against my doctor's approval, I'm considering reducing to a point of weaning myself, because another thing is these things The three of them, they are over 1,000 rand together, so I cannot afford them. These are the remaining ones that I had while I still had medical aid, so I used to afford them. Even with the medical aid, there is a co-payment, unfortunately. So right now, number one, I cannot afford them. Number two, some of them are not found at clinics. There's also Odiven. So at clinic, I'm taking Odiven. But we all know what happens at our clinics. Our clinics are not so supportive at all, and they will give you one pill instead of giving you cater for the antidepressant, mood stabilizers, and anti-anxiety. So we choose one. So it's a choose one problem that I'm facing. So I rather stop taking them for the sake of they are almost finished. That's number one. Number two, I also want to feel something about the challenges that I'm going through right now. I want to feel. It's been a long time since I haven't felt any emotion, so I want to get that emotion. I want to cry. I want to deal with things that I'm facing naturally. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it, because we are at different stages of depression. I've been on this journey for a long time, and I was on Lexamil for the longest of time, and then I started taking the higher medications of the other challenges that are. But do you believe? Let's not spiritually bypass each other, Lavi. Yes, I do believe. I don't know what should I believe, but I don't know. I believe that I believe. Okay, fine. And please don't mix depression with spiritual beliefs, because even your pastors need to be on medication. No wonder they do despicable things. Part of the reason is because they should be on medication and they are not. Depression has got nothing to do with spiritual beliefs. It has got absolutely nothing to do with who believes what. If depression hits you, you just have to deal with it. If you need medication, take your medication. Let's not spiritually bypass each other about religion, about spirituality, because all those things have got nothing to do with our depression. And you are remaining, I don't know. Oh yes, I think Araba Lebu, what I was answering them. I think I hope I'm wrong, Lebu. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I think you wanted to ask me about my spiritual belief, and if you are asking about that, I'm sorry, I have to just stress that again. Believing in any kind of spirituality have got nothing to do with depression. And for as long as we are in denial about that, then we'll always have things that are despicable that are happening at churches. It's because they are advocating beliefs, the belief system, the whatever, instead of dealing with issues that they really have. So let us not do that to each other. Let us take medication if we need to. And guys, like I'm telling you about my intention to stop my medication, I'm not saying anyone should stop their medication at all. I am not advocating anyone stopping medication. I've been on this journey for a long time. Actually, what I'm doing right now is taking a break. If I feel I'm not coping, I will definitely go back to my medication. Right now, as I told you the reasons why I feel I need to take this break, and definitely it is against my my psychiatrist advice. It's totally against her advice. And by the way, I have a beautiful, understanding, kind psychiatrist in the world that I'm seeing at the moment. Her surname is, I cannot forget my psychiatrist's name, guys. Sipa Spagaz.
Ma.
Dr. Kimang.
Yeah?
Dr. Albertone ko je Kimang sa name hai. Oh, Dr. Sbotoma, yes. She's a lady. She is so understanding, Dr. Sbotoma. Her surgery, I'm not advertising her, but really, if you really do want a psychiatrist that is understanding, that is warm, that will make you feel like you are at home in her office, you should consider seeing Dr. Sbotoma. Practice is in Alberton, at a hospital called Life Brackenview. Life Brackenview, it's such a beautiful space as well itself. If you need to book yourself in for therapy, it's like, wow, it's wonderful, that hospital. So in the hospital, she does have her practice in there. She's one of the doctors that are practicing there. So if you're looking for a nice psychiatrist, my psychiatrist, as the guys, I've seen psychiatrists, this is the third one now. I've been with the other two. Oh, they were men and they were not. Can the psychiatrist also be your therapist? Yes, they are your no, the psychiatrist is not your therapist. Excuse, I'm lying. Yes, they are called therapists, but it's a kind of a therapist that takes you only medically. But my psychiatrist, guys, my psychiatrist becomes my therapist, because when I'm there, she wants to talk to you. She wants you to tell her, we take plus minus an hour. That is the time that we normally take at the psychologist. So I think it's because she's a woman. So she tends to be very much involved when she sees the patient, and she makes sure that her times between patients are not too short. So she books people for 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Unlike other doctors that will make about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they do that. No, she gives you that time, and she's not afraid to take a little bit over her time. The other patient can be waiting, and she's gonna take as much time with the other patient as they need as well. So yes, in my case, but it's not her duty, unfortunately. But she just goes beyond her normal duty, Dr. Sbotoma. But it's not her duty. Her duty is just to prescribe the medication. Her duty is just to ask, how do you feel, includes your emotions. She wants to know, are you feeling any suicidal? Do you have a plan for suicide? She asks such questions. Do you have any plans in place for your suicide that you are contemplating? What do you think about the children? Do you have children? What is the setup in the house? You know, the psychiatrist is supposed to ask those questions, but normally psychiatrists are asking those questions. Hi, Papa G. So normally psychiatrists are asking those questions just in short. You're not even sure whether you're listening. With my first two psychiatrists, I was not even sure if they are listening, because they will be writing. They don't even have an expression. With Dr. Sbotoma, who is my psychiatrist at the moment, she is warm. You feel like even her face, she shows care. She's not afraid to put a pen down and listen to you, like, or put, like, you know, she gives you that thing that I am listening to you, and which is what we need, particularly when you are suffering from depression. You feel like either not talking, or when you talk, you feel like you can be given that ear, that a person that you are talking to could be listening. So those are the things that I wanted us to talk about today. Yes, any questions? I'll dilebohang matsimela ke mo answerile. Zandi, I think I answered your question. Actually, you're supposed to have a therapist called a psychologist if you really want to talk. And you can also go only to the psychologist without going to the psychiatrist. Actually, the psychologist is the one that always encourage you by seeing the need that, okay, you also need to see the psychiatrist, because while they are busy talking to you, they check so many things. They check your emotions while they are busy talking to you. If you're crying too much, they just know that you're being too emotional. You are seriously battling with whatever issue that is making you sick. And they're not going to describe from just the get-go. Would I need a referral from my psychologist to see Dr. Bottom? Yes, definitely. Dr. Bottom wants to have a psychologist or a GP. Even your GP can make a referral. So she needs to have a referral from either your GP or your psychologist. Hello, my darling. If there's no reason to be battling, guys. There is a lot of support, even at the clinic. Getting support, you may take a little while. First of all, the line is that thing, the queue, the telele, go in la the psychologist, and it's not many people by clinicing. Barry, I'm not feeling well, I'm crying so much. Like, it's not many people. People think if you cry too much, yeah, you must just get over it if it's not medical aid. But if you feel emotional, but GP psychologist or psychologist directly. But unfortunately, with the clinic, it's not many people that just go there. We are mahlanya. So one other thing motivate them back to where psychology department, the clinic, the hospital, is the mere fact that how we are like people. But you said you are fine now. Yes, I'm fine now, dear. I'm fine now. Yes, I'm fine, but not fine in terms of, I could say I'm fine because, like, I feel fine right now. Medications taking one, I feel fine, but I do know the situation that I should not be feeling this way. I should not be feeling fine. I should not be feeling like I should, I should be feeling like the problems that you feel naturally. I must still feel something, even though yes, something it can choose some feel too deep. Mara, you must still feel some emotion, and right now it's hardly a time you feel emotional. And I can tell you emotional. Let's skip the medications. Can I do this skip because they are thing? I'm on medication every day, right? But I'm not encouraging anyone to. It's not a good thing to do. And it's not a good thing to not drink your medication daily, guys. It's not. But I admit sometimes I also default. And I will default that. But I'm taken right back to my medications by the dizziness that comes with not taking them. They've got serious withdrawal symptoms. Serious. I'm miserable because of dizziness. Dizziness, let me explain how it feels like. How also do you feel a dizziness? How something the dizziness is in your head, not around you. How dizziness like the world is going? No, you feel the dizziness, but you feel it's in here. It feels like your brain power or something. You can feel the disconnect. In other words, you feel it. Matt Sansen, hello my brother, I see you. So any other questions before I leave, guys? Any other questions? No more questions. Za, no more questions, darling. Debza, Malebza, Mad, Kyo. And there is this lady. Who's this, Mark? I go to meet you. So I talk about one man. There is somebody. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I guess oh, exactly. I see you. So if you are okay, guys, I'm also okay. Nothing from my side. Okay, darling. Thank you. Kyo, any questions? He gets it up to Nikki Arabi, guys. Okay, sharp, okay. If that is the case, bye bye, guys, and good night. Have a nice weekend. I love you.